Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to go ahead and walk you through how I close out a monthly budget. I do this because I want to see everything that has happened in the month, all the expenses, all the income that came in, if I had like unbudgeted stuff, and I just want to make sure that everything is tracked so like that when a new month starts, I have everything set to go and I know exactly how much of like the previous month's income is getting rolled over to the next. So that's exactly what I'm going to go ahead and do. So the first thing that I always look at is if I had any more expenditures than what I've logged in here. And based on how May went, everything that I logged in is all that happened. So this spread right here is complete. If you guys didn't see my ending numbers, I'll link the video up in a card above over here, but this is just where I track everything that I spend cash that I do from my cash envelopes. If you guys don't know, I do cash spending because I cannot be trusted with a debit card, because I have a buffer in it and I know if I swipe and I still see money in there, I'm going to want to keep spending it. So cash is always ideal for me in my situation and my spending habits. So what I do is I log everything in here. Like every time I go shopping or I have a receipt, I log it on here. And like that, when the weeks progress, I log everything on here. So this is what this weekly spread is in connection to my monthly. So that's how one of my spreads work. The next, I would have to look at my debt tracker. So here I go ahead and sum up everything that I went ahead and threw at my debt. So this includes the minimum payment, all the debt snowballs that I had. I add it all up so I can get that snowball accumulation, set number that I can then plug into my monthly budget. So here is what my May budget is, and this is the thing that we're closing. So for paycheck one, and I'm going to walk you through all of this, I did receive the $1248.32. So I'm going to go ahead and put my actuals. So each paycheck was exactly the same, and this is because I'm on a set income because I'm on workers' comp due to my hand injuries and my job not being to accommodate my restrictions. So that's why I'm on workers' comp. And it's exactly the same for both. So $1248.32 is what I earned. And then for miscellaneous, something that I did forget to add on here was a rollover. And for my rollover from the month of April, because April I kind of forgot about it or didn't care to do it, the total that I rolled over for the month of May plus my boyfriend's rent is $2,073.92. So that is what my rollover income was, and that was with Bay's rent included. So that is how much was in my account for the month of May. So all of this is what hit my account, and this is what my month started out with. So in total, all the income that I worked with was, for the month of May, ended up working with $4,570.56. So that is how much I brought in or had in my account for the month of May. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and start plugging in all the real numbers that happen for my bills. So of course my rent is the same. This is just the set amount because of my lease. My health benefits, even though I estimated to be $135, they ended up being $134.37. So all I'm doing here is just summarizing everything that I plugged in here for my bills. So natural gas, I actually had credit, so I actually didn't have a natural gas bill, so that's $0. My phone bill is the same. This is like a set bill that doesn't change as well, so this one stays at $57. Same for my mom's Bank of America card that I help her pay, that never changes. It stays at $55. My car payment, this is what I mean by the minimum payment. This does not include debt snowball or anything. This is just for my car payment minimum because I need to pay this regardless. So this one is the same, $167.31. My car insurance was a little high this month. I was estimating 107 because of the previous month, but this month it actually went up another $40. So my car insurance was $140, $150. I am going to work with that on June. I am going to switch providers just because that is way too ridiculous for one car. And my dad has already offered to add me to his plan, which is only going to minimize it more. So yay, me. The only thing I have to do is really adult. For renter's insurance, I did estimate $23. It came out to be $22.56. And when I look at my calendar, all of those bills are accounted for. Everything that I thought was going to happen happened, and all of those numbers are now plugged in. So for the month of May, my entire bills ended up costing me $1,927.74. So now that we have all my bills done, we're going to go ahead and move on to the cash envelopes. Now the cash envelopes, these were set amounts of budgets that I set up for myself. However, since this isn't a budgeted amount, it doesn't mean I've actually spent it all or I haven't overspent. For that, I go ahead and come to this spread right here, which is my weekly check-in, and I add up all of the items that I've actually spent for those categories. So that's exactly what I'm going to go ahead and do. So for the month of May, I'm going to concentrate on groceries because that is the first category that I have here. I estimated that I would spend $380, but in fact I've only actually spent $281.73, meaning that I over budgeted for $100. And the reason why is because I've been struggling with this category in terms of wanting to keep it or finding, I don't know, like a routine to actually cook at home or meal prep or something like that, because that's something that I'm actually struggling with. It's just keep cooking at home because I don't like to do it. Bae doesn't like to do it. And groceries for us really just means buying drinks and snacks because we go out and eat a lot. It's just our lifestyle. So this is one category that I've been struggling out with. So as you guys can see, even though I bumped it up a couple of times in the previous to 380, this month it has decreased because we're just not grocery shopping as much anymore because we've kind of given up in that situation. For gasoline, we go over here. For the first 2 weeks, nothing. Actually, for the first 3 weeks, so 1, 2, 3, I had not spent anything on gasoline. On the 4th week, I actually spent $37. So $37 was all that I spent in gas for the month of May, and that's because I'm at home all times. As you guys know, I'm on workers' comp, so I'm actually not commuting to work. I'm not actually working at the moment. The only thing I do is work on my shop, and all I do is travel to the post office or to doctor's appointments for, you know, my injuries, and that's it. So I don't really travel much, so $37 is normal for a person in my situation. However, since gas prices are going up here in LA, I just go ahead and bumped it up for June just because I might be traveling a little bit more because of all the appointments I have this month. But for May, I only spent $37. Now, let's go on to spending, because spending is the most volatile one for me. Sometimes I'm an emotional spender. Sometimes since I'm not out or about and I don't online shop too often, that can be very minimal. But I never, ever under budget myself for that category because I know I can set up myself for failure due to my mood swings and my personal habits that I've always had. So as you guys can see, spending for all of the weeks was always something there to be spent. So in total of 184. So I'm gonna go ahead and put 184 right over here. So that is actually pretty nice. I came under all of these categories this whole entire month, so that's great. So as you guys can see, I was home most of the time and not barely doing anything. However, now that we moved to unbudgeted, this is everything that happens within the month that I was not expecting. So all of these dark transactions means that something happened that was not supposed to happen, but since I do have a buffer in place, as you guys can see, and I have a savings account, emergency, and all that stuff, and I can pull from different streams of income, I know that unbudgeted can have an effect on my personal monthly habit bills in here, but it's not something that is detrimental that I'm not allowed to handle. But for the month of May, I had a total of $204.20 of expenses, and that was due to Memorial Day, Mother's Day, and all that stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and put $204.20. So I had, I think it was like a self-care day, bank fees, and then overspending on categories that I under budgeted on my own. So this is exactly what happened for my cash envelopes. So in total, in this category, I ended up spending a total of $706.93. So now that area is closed. Like we're not dealing with that anymore. Now we're going to move on to the miscellaneous categories. These I've also tracked on my monthly calendar, and these are the ones that have gone unchecked. So these are the ones that have like these kind of soft coral ones because I did plan for them. The only difference is that some would have been over budget, some under. So for Bay's birthday, I actually ended up spending $78.63, and that's because he's more of a stay-at-home body than anything, so that's why that was so low. For Mother's Day, we actually didn't spend anything just because the day was so busy and crowded and intense that my parents actually decided to postpone Mother's Day for another week. So what we actually did was that on the Memorial Day weekend, we actually celebrated Mother's Day and Memorial together. So this is the area that actually took most of the hit, which is why I had such an unbudgeted expense. So I'm gonna go ahead and just add the 50 here and say I spent it because the unbudgeted portion of that is already included up here. Now for rent for June, I did save my $9.25 and I already paid it, so this is a must. This is something I had to, you know, pull out from my paychecks because otherwise I wouldn't be able to say pay for my rent for the month of June since it lands on the 1st. So in total for the miscellaneous category, I ended up spending $1,053.63. So now that I have all these numbers available, I'm gonna go ahead and plug them here. And actually, let me zoom you guys in just a tad bit so you guys can really see those numbers. So for income, my actual was $4,570.56. My bills came out to be $1,927.74. The cash that I ended up spending was $706.93, and miscellaneous ended up being $1,053.63. Now something that I'm gonna go ahead and add here on the side, it'll be debt snowball. Go ahead and put that here, and I'm gonna go ahead and take that number from this area. So I'm gonna add everything up that I threw at my debt. So I take $500 plus 110 plus 100. No, I'm gonna skip the minimum payment because that's already in my bills. I'm gonna do 400, and I'm gonna do the $73.90. So for my debt snowball total, I threw $1,083.90 without my car payment because that's already taken care of up here. And now I'm just gonna subtract everything from the actual income that I had and tell you guys how much I had left over that I brought into June. At the end of the month, I had like $464 for June, and that was because of everything that was extra, because I don't show you guys my side hustle income, whether it's from my sticker shop, my YouTube, or my affiliate income. I don't put it on here anymore for personal reasons and for privacy, but that is May. That's how it ended up working, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys are wondering what I do with the extra income or like the extra cash that I have for my cash envelopes, I'm actually gonna pull this out and throw it at a debt snowball that will happen in June. So all of these categories are gonna get pulled out, and I'm gonna make this into a snowball for my car payment for the month of June. So that is how that is gonna work. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, and I will catch you guys in my next one. Bye, you guys.